Joe Biden loves being the first president to do all these crazy, crazy things, but he doesn't want to be the first president to obviously issue the most improper payments. But he has rightfully won that award. And according to Open the Books, he's going to probably reach $1 trillion of improper payments being made by the end of his first term. Now, obviously, that's outrageous because when you break it down, that's about $7,500 per second for both you and I. That's the ones who foot this bill. So, not really surprising. We've seen it time and time again that this administration is constantly misusing our taxpayer money to fund things that you and I both know won't work in the best interest of the American people. And so, this really isn't that shocking. But to break it all down, joining us now is Jeremy Portnoy. He is an investigative journalist and the author of the column over at Open the Books. It's called Waste of the Day. And he's here with us now to break down his latest report. I got to say, Jeremy, this is incredible because many of us were well aware that the Biden-Harris administration is constantly misusing our money. But to the tune of $1 trillion, that sounds like a lot. Can you break down this latest report for us?
Yeah, so all that means when you hear the word improper payment, that's money that the government has sent to the wrong person for the wrong amount or for the wrong reason. So that could be something huge like a fraud scheme they haven't uncovered, or it could be something really simple like some guy at the Department of Labor is just lazy on a Friday morning and he writes the wrong number on a check.
Mhm.
But like you said, we're up now to $7,500 every second. So, I mean, even just in a minute now that we've been talking, that's enough to buy a home for an American family. Instead, it's all sent away by mistake on these improper payments.
Yeah, and it seems crazy that this is even allowed to happen, but it's not the first time. Obviously, in administrations, there are mistakes, and we have the graph to kind of compare both Biden and President Trump when President Trump was in the White House. So you can put that up on the screen for now. But it's obviously a massive difference when you look at the administrations. Have you seen anything that comes this close to what we're seeing right now in the White House?
This is definitely the worst we've seen it. It's just been getting progressively worse between each administration. Obama had his improper payment rate around 4%, which definitely wasn't perfect. Then under Trump, it went up to 5%. Now Biden is hovering around 6 and 7%. And when you're spending as much money as Biden is, that means he's spent now 34% more on these improper payments through his first 3 years than Trump did in his first 3 years. So it's a huge increase, and we're going to get up to $1 trillion now by the time he leaves office.
Yeah, and we obviously, as a nation that's in debt, need all the money that we have and to hold on to. We can't afford this. I mean, this is insane. But you guys have also broken down kind of the list as to where these improper payments are going. So we have that for you. We're going to put that right now on the screen. Can you detail a little bit as to where these payments are going? Because I mean, we've done reports on this show where we're literally giving money to through the UN to Afghanistan, and it might be landing in the hands of the Taliban, and they've labeled that prop as potentially like an improper payment. But there's more to all of this.
Yeah, I mean, it would take me an hour to go through every agency that's wasted money on these payments, but some of the big ones, Medicare and Medicaid, wasted about half the money just because there's so much money flowing through those agencies. But it's some of the smaller dollar totals that are actually the crazy ones. You've had about $300 million last year get paid out to dead people. Those are federal pension earners that passed away. The government didn't realize, kept sending them a check anyway. You had almost $200 million sent to prisoners. You had over 500 million sent out on tax credits to people lying about how many kids they have. Almost anything you can think of, people are finding ways to scheme the government or just get them to make a mistake and profit off this.
Yeah, yeah. And those crimes are rarely prosecuted too, which is so infuriating because, you know, during the pandemic, we saw the COVID money just getting handed out to individuals who didn't actually need it. And it's when you're giving out that much money, though, it's really hard to account for all of it. But this really isn't a surprise at all. I know you guys have also covered the COVID payments that were made out as well, and that's listed as well as the improper payments. And there's also prisoners. You guys list what I thought was pretty funny. Well, not funny, but very interesting, I should say. That's $171 million was paid out to incarcerated people who were disqualified from payments. Again, shouldn't be happening, but it is. You guys at the Open the Books organization do have solutions, though. You guys not only point out where the problems are, but you try to redirect it so we could resolve these issues. How do we fix this? How do we fix the improper payments that are being made?
I mean, number one is just cut spending overall. If you're spending less money, then there's less money that's getting wasted. That's really the simplest solution. But number two, we just need more accountability and oversight. You look at agencies like the EPA this year, they got about 60 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act. They actually went back to Congress and told them, hey, this is too much money. If we spend this all this year, we're not going to be able to keep track of it, and some of it's going to get wasted on improper payments. And nothing changed. The Congress still told them it's okay, spend it all, even if you don't have enough time for enough oversight. So it's just silly examples like that that need to be tightened down. We need to make sure we're allocating money at a slower pace so we can actually keep track of where all it's going instead of just making the government more and more bureaucratic.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what needs to take place. Thank you so much for all the work that Open the Books is doing. You guys are doing great reports. So I got to remind our audience, you got to head over to openthebooks.com to read everything that they're doing. They're auditing our government and they're making sure that we aren't overspending and our money's not being wasted. And that's what's really important in all of this. So head on over to openthebooks.com, take a look at all their great work. We greatly appreciate it. Jeremy, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brianna. We always appreciate it.
Thank you.